It's 2026. We've got a new patch coming, but also FanFest. Oh my goodness, this is the Carbuncle Chronicle. Hello and welcome to the Carbuncle Chronicle, your podcast for everything awesome in Final Fantasy XIV. I'm Basil, and I play a Lalafell summoner named 4K Rydiske on Leviathan.
I'm Anna. I play a Lalafell dancer named Cormia Rydiske on Leviathan, but technically I'm an Aether more now these days because raid. Still got to get my car.
And I'm Tobias. I play Nadawai Silvestri, a Lalafell. Well, might as well pick up Blue Mage now. It's done. On Leviathan.
We'll get to it. Pour one out for Blue Mage this expansion.
I know. I was telling a friend of mine who has Bis for Beastmaster now. Don't ask. But I was telling him, I was like, crap, I didn't think about it. I now have to keep my caster gear for more the next expansion. Because I always keep my caster gear because I don't know what Blue Mage will need.
And here I was going to talk about, like, y'all, Gaia's back. Better, more fashionable than ever. Because Tetsuya Nomura has a brand new fashion simulator named Dissidia Duellum. It's for your mobile phones.
It's PvP. I felt myself getting mad at it today because it's PvP. And I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this.
It is like, it's like a weird, like, smaller scale shatter with extra steps, because you go to crystals and you kill enemies and the crystal gives you crystal energy. And once you max out your, okay, sure, it's the crystal's energy.
Bravery.
They call it bravery, but it's the crystal's energy. And when you're full up on it, you got your full 9999. You can then boost or burst or whatever, and then you can fight the boss with you can deal the boss damage. But while you're doing this, you're a team of three versus another team of three. So it's that PvEVP deal, because you can also kill people on the other team, and that also gives you the bravery, which you can then burst to defeat the boss. And whoever kills the boss first or deals the most damage to the boss and kills the boss, they win. So you want to kill the crystals, but you also want to kill the people. So it is, but also the boss.
Also
because
the boss.
If y'all focus on each other, then the boss wins, because your timer runs out and you can kill the boss.
Yeah. And so far, we've only seen 3 bosses: the Iron Giant, Behemoth, and Moogle.
The real fun part for me is that the storyline is that all our favorite Final Fantasy characters have been isekai'd in modern day Tokyo, because Tetsuya Nomura, like, I'm not going to give Kitase, the chance to be wrong this time. No, I'm giving this all to Nomura. And so there are little story vignettes you can see. It's part of the Battle Pass thing, where you know how there's a free track and always a paid track. On the free track, you get stuff, but you also get like little cutscenes, like voiced cutscenes sometimes. Other times it's like a line conversation where they're talking to each other on their cell phones. My favorite part is the Warrior of Light from Final Fantasy 1 is he's old, so he has a real issue using cell phones. He has to learn how to actually use them.
Yeah, he and Tara had issues with it. Cloud's like, I've had one of these before.
Yeah, Cloud had like a feature phone from like 2004, right? One of those flip phones that are fancy. Remember that?
Yeah.
It could play the original version of Crisis Core.
Yeah. But
before Crisis.
Before Crisis, yeah.
Yeah.
And Gaia probably has a tombstone.
It is also
so
funny
it's
because
similar.
Gaia, the whole plot line currently is that Gaia can notice that there's evil energy coming out of these crystals sometimes for some reason. And I'm like, yeah, we've those of us who've done the Eden raids, we understand exactly why she could sense these things.
Oh yeah, it's fun to watch her break one of the crystals because it's the exact movements from like Eden, but I've did Fru a lot recently, so it's fun watching that and going, man, And I love her battle music specifically is a mashup of Return to Oblivion and Shadowbringers.
Yeah, it's all made
and it's really neat. That is an orchestrion I would like.
All the music are really cool remixes from all the various games. Like I definitely recommend, if nothing else, if you never play it, go on YouTube or what have you and find rips of these songs. They all kick butt. Like I really like Terra's theme. Like it's got this really like,
yeah, Terra's is great.
I don't want to say hip hop, but it's got like this bouncing like rhythm to it that you normally don't hear out of that theme. Like it is, it's very like, cause the original theme, it's got more of a march to it, but this one is, it's a little more livelier.
Okay.
Also, speaking of things that are actually in Final Fantasy XIV itself, but possibly PvP, the Moogle treasure trove, the hunt for Aphorism, is coming soon. Oh, and I used the wrong information. I used it from the previous one.
25.
I am so behind on my PvP series, and the Moogle Tombstone marks that I only have 4 weeks to do it. I'm only on level 6. This is not good because I've got to get to the mount.
It started on March 31st. Starts on March 31st, but you're probably already in it by the time we release this episode. So you got until patch 7.5, which we already know when that's going to be.
The day everybody's leaving for to get back from FanFest, or the day I return to work after FanFest.
So if you are going to FanFest, you have less time to do this than before. I'm excited, not just for the cool little pickaxe earring, but I think the Emerald Glimmer is the last one I need for the Shadowbringers mounts to get the big mechanical dragon. So
okay.
The blue eyes, white
so
jet.
The hop up on Blue Sky is the thing you want to check is the magic bucket. It is a fish.
No, I fish that. I agree with every fisher out there that should not be there. That is a badge of honor that you have to go fish.
Fruity himself said, just do it. So Fruity says it, that's fine. It's like a 0.57% chance at best to get it.
Which is funny because I don't think it took me that and my RNG's bad, so I don't think it took me that long. But I will say that bucket is one of my favorites because it's so funny to watch it like bounce behind you, and then it's got a goldfish in it.
Oh, that's
and
funny.
if you poke it, the goldfish jumps up. It's so cute.
So yeah, little tombstones. We've covered it many times before on this show. There are a few different episodes you can go back to hear us talk about it, but there's lots more to talk about. Oh my gosh. The spoilers food for this episode is pineapple orange jelly. Made from Turali pineapples and navel oranges, the refreshing flavor of this jelly will remind you of Tural no matter where you are. Because we're going places. And some of these places, we don't know where yet. So I thought that was a good food to remind us, yeah, Tural, Dontrell rules. Not done with it yet. Very recently, we had the Final Fantasy XIV Live Letter 91, where they talked about the brand new patch coming soon, 7.5, Trail to the Heavens. It's coming out April 28th, and they're doing iterative patches that we'll be getting in like June and July and September. So like the 0.51s, the 0.55s, the 0.56, because of course, this is the 0.5, so we're getting the first chunk of story in this patch, and then in 0.56, we'll get the part 2 of the storyline that'll actually like point us directly into whatever's coming next for the next expansion.
Because remember, the end of 0.5 part 1 of Endwalker is where they introduce Wuklamot's feet.
Yeah, I remember that. The feet.
Yeah, yeah. We had to pay the guild to get into our OnlyFans. I remember that.
I remember the even the leaks that people had made. They had only put the model for her like legs in the game, because they knew people were going to leak it. I remember that, like the bottom half of Wicklamat, before we knew Bimroth.
Because by that point we had seen the first trailer at FanFest.
Yep.
We heard her voice, but we didn't know who she was. And we knew though. Like I remember, we're like, okay, that voice belongs to those feet. But who is it?
But we're also going other places like the Clyteum. It's our new expert dungeon. It could be Garlemald.
Not Garlemald.
It's
maybe,
right. It's definitely trying to tease us that it could be Garlemald, but exactly where that is in Ilsabard, it could be kind of. We're gonna have to see. I'm just glad that after 12 years of playing this game, we've finally been able to find the Clyteum. 12 years.
Well, once again, that means Dontrell's still the best expansion. All right. What is wild is our new trial, Inuo, because once again, it's not Final Fantasy. We're getting a Final Fantasy V boss, but it's from Final Fantasy V Advance. It's the Game Boy Advance optional super boss.
I had almost literally just finished 5. No, not literally, but I've recently finished 5. And so when they brought that up, I was like, what's that from? And I looked it up. And I was like, wait, it says 5. I was like, Basil, I didn't fight this. And then we found out it was from Game Boy Advanced. However, it was either that same day or the next day. There is a monster in 6 called Inuo. And it's a different looking sprite, but it's the same name. And when you look up Inuo, you get the human sprite and the weird sea creature looking sprite. And so I was like, well, okay, interesting. So I've been paying attention to that little monster to try and figure out what the trial's going to be like. But we found out he's worse X-Death. So we going back to the Void? Going back to Omega? Does Sid finally get to come back?
Or completely something different, because they love to use other things. Remember, Lindblom does not exist in Final Fantasy VIII when they did that hell on rails, when that evil train was around. Whereas, but they used Final Fantasy IX inspired lore to explain that train, even though it's a Final Fantasy VIII boss. So they could be doing whatever.
No, I'm pretty sure. I mean, my guess is that if we're going back to Garlemald, Ilsabard, or wherever, we're going to be tying in the Void. We're pretty sure we're bringing the Void stuff back. I'm pretty sure we're bringing the Void stuff back with, oh God, what's her name from the last?
Zero.
Yeah, Zero. She's surely got to come back. She's Void coded. So Inu is Void coded. She's originally from the Ilsabard area anyway. That's where we saw her. Lapis Manalis, that was her whole deal. So the dev team can always throw a curveball at us again, but that's what it seems like they're implying here as a return to the Void storyline.
And I know Anna's biggest worry is that they potentially could be returning to the Nier storyline, because we know there's going to be an ultimate trial. There's a new ultimate coming, but they refuse to say what it is, and all they showed was a staticky screen, like it was a TV with the tracking went bad. And a lot of people were like, well, we saw something like that in the Nier raids.
Because the first thought is Omega.
Yeah.
But we've done Omega.
Well, and also they use that same similar effect, and I feel it's too soon, but it's in the Queen Eternal fight when everything when it switches off and someone yells out a word, crashing in with an axe. When it skips to it, the screen goes wonky, with that static look to it.
That's true.
But again, that is really soon to do something like that for an ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because all of my ultimate people, we have been hoping and thinking it was going to be the Ascians or Hades, and Zodiark and Heidelin. So we're just kind of I
thought it'd be really cool if it was the Four Lords. That was the one that I was rooting for.
That's also an option, especially now that they're done with them for Unreal.
Also, this could just be a fake out. This has nothing to actually do with what the trial is. They just needed something to fill in space, but it is weird in that was like the one only like video footage they showed was that in the entire thing. Everything else was like PowerPoint slides. The one bit of moving video they had was that staticky, VHS screen.
Yeah, and Yoshi P specifically said it was a hint.
So we'll see.
So that's, we'll find out in a few days or 40, 30 something, 20 something days. I don't know. Too soon.
We did find out where we're walking next, and that's Windurst, baby. Windurst, if you're cool.
Oh my God.
Best starting town in Final Fantasy XI in Vana'diel.
Best starting towny.
Windurst, because that's where I started.
Nope.
That's right.
Sandoria for life.
Yeah. We're going to Windurst and wherever else. They showed like a big old Shantoto in the background in one of the screen caps. So, man, who knows where we're going?
I mean, and I know we're fighting the gods, whoever those are, because I don't know.
I think so far each of the previous two have something from the base game, something from Zillert, and something from an expansion. So, like, we're going to Windurst. They're going to be around, what is it? Saruta Baruta, I think is the area around Windurst. I don't hang out there. I don't know these names. So we're going to be in Saruta Baruta for a bit. We'll probably do something in Zillert. I don't know. That's kind of where I stopped playing 11. And the third part could be, at this point, whatever. I don't even know. We know we have to sort of tie up the series. This is the third of 3. But I'm really interested to see how they tie this together narratively, because it's, we've already sort of know that, what's his face? Cyril Jaw was kind of doing in the first part. We know that the copy of Ildnarsh sort of recognizes that he's a copy in part 2. So part 3, like, they've got to tie up this all together narratively a neat little bow. And I really hope they stick the landing, because that could make this something really memorable, or just kind of a fan wake thing.
We'll see. They honestly have done they've got a really good track record of, especially in the Alliance raids, of sticking the landing. Like, I feel Alexander was really cool. Well, I guess that was a raid series, not so much the Alliance raid. But even like all the raid series, they stick the landings pretty darn well. And like, I felt like, for example, with the Aglaya and all that stuff, that was a very good ending to it. I liked how they ended the Crystal Tower, and hell, that ending led us eventually into things like Shadowbringers and whatnot. So they usually know how to end things in 14. Yeah. So I don't think we're going to get Chainsaw Man Part 2.
That's topical. I really hope. I think I would like if they leave the door open for more stuff later, rather than just like cap it off and say that's the end of Vana'diel, period. If they maybe leave it a little open-ended for potential stuff later, more crossover stuff. They've already done crossovers in the past anyway. I think that'd be really cool to see maybe some stuff come back later.
Yeah. And I also wonder just how much. My hope is that Prish will be okay. And Oxal, like, I hope they'll be okay. That is really what I'm only really worried about. Are they going to be okay? But they also did tease that a new song might be debuted. So this might be like a brand new 11 track that they've composed for this raid. And that could be exciting for entirely different reasons, because the music in 11 is all pretty fire.
Yep. It could be anything. Very excited for that.
We are also finally, after so many months of waiting, we can finally go north in the Occult Crescent. We can finally scoot on up to the North Horn, where we can find finally somewhere else besides. I love South Horn. It's a beautiful place, cool fights, but I'm very excited to get a new zone to run around in.
I haven't even done much in what we've had.
Yeah, there's so many jobs to level, and now or sub jobs to level. Now there's more. They've shown Black Mage, White Mage, Summoner, Red Mage, Dragoon, Ninja, Blue Mage. So there is a Blue Mage update just in the Occult Crescent. Don't worry about that. But also, once again, the Game Boy Advance exclusive Necromancer. They do love themselves acknowledging that weird things out of the offshoot bits of other Final Fantasies are also representative. Because remember, they did a decent chunk of like after years stuff leading into Endwalker, like Lunar Bahamut and stuff were all like extra bosses things that were in after years and that stuff. And the I think the bonus dungeon maybe in the advanced version, like they love bringing in like extra things from like the weird offshoots of the main games that don't always stick around.
So what you're telling me is that Pixel Remaster isn't the definitive version. Final Fantasy XIV is the definitive version for these games.
I mean, I remember they were talking way back in the day how they were seeing if they could figure out ways they could include a way for you to be able to play the Pixel remasters in Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
Which that would have been wild. Of course, it never was a thing. But I mean, they did say there's going to be something new with the Gold Saucer. I don't think that's it. But they did say that something new in the Gold Saucer will be unveiled at some point, sooner rather than later.
I made Basil mad and said it was Chocobo Racing.
Oh, that would make my soul happy. Well, they did say that they are looking into updates to Chocobos because someone in the chat was there saying, "Hey, update Chocobos," and Yoshida's like, "Actually, we're working on like a Chocobo update."
Oh,
how do they know that? How did chat figure out that we're working on Chocobos? We haven't talked about this. No one's talked about Chocobos. And I was like, Chocobo update, you say? Could that also include an update to Chocobo Racing? It won't, but like a Lalafell can dream. But back to Occult Crescent, of course, there'll be, new fates, new criticals, new monsters. They're also going to give us the other half of Fork Tower, which is the magic version. And they're going to do a normal mode this time, as well as a more difficult extreme mode. So that way people will feel more comfortable casuals doing it because they just did the hard version for Fork Tower Blood. So we'll see how that goes. We do know that Blue Mage, as far as we're concerned, is not getting updated this expansion. They've got to push it to 8.0. They focused so hard on Beastmaster that they kind of ran out of their resources for updating Blue Mage in tandem. So they decided to hunker down and make Beastmaster as cool as it will be, where it will be the very best, like no one ever was.
I just want to point out, I was disappointed with our community once again. Because the day this happened, all this stuff was coming out, all this new exciting stuff. They finally revealed Beastmaster for real. It's coming, about when we expected it to happen late in the patch cycle. And all I heard was people moaning and complaining that Blue Mage wasn't getting an update. Like, guys, you're eating good, so good in the Dawn Trail patch series. And the one little thing you're complaining about, like, for the limited job?
And they probably don't even play it.
Yeah, like, I get this being disappointed, but, like, come on. You're getting a new limited job. A whole new thing to play with. Like, be happy.
And it looks really cool. Like, the Beastmaster looks really cool.
I mean, Mr. Osmo is the mastermind behind it. It's gonna be interesting.
You get a cool, like, one-handed axe. So now we get, like, the full range of axe. Where we got, the little hatchet for for botanist, and now Beastmaster's getting like the bigger one, and then Warrior gets the really big one. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's going up to level 50. You do need to have Realm Reborn completed, but have Dawn Trail purchased, and it's doing the whole Pokemon thing where you weaken beasts in the wild before you capture them. They're doing up to 50 types of beasts. So there's 50 different kinds of creatures that you can tame. You get your own Pokedex. Master's Bestiary. All the beasts you can capture in solo play.
That is a weird shaped book.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, it is a weird shaped book. Like if you see what they showed, the book is only halfway done. Like if you close it, you still have like half a book that's just pages are hanging out there. It's okay. It is a weird book. I don't know how it even works because I think as you turn pages, suddenly the other page is like long and the other one's short. But so it shouldn't like work in physics. But whatever, man. It's fine. It's a video game. You can have a beast walk around with you like your pal, which as a summoner I'm all about because I love having my little Carby hanging out with me all by my side all times. So that's cool.
Well, I know you can even make your own light party again. Because you used to, you would have your minion, your chocobo, and your summon out in the wild, but now you can make your own light party in dungeons.
Yeah, like real ones, real parties. Like finally, squadrons are real again, but now with monsters. Like this is
that stings.
This is Dragon Quest 4 all over again, man. It's gonna be great. But yeah, like you can. It looks like they were showing off like. I think it was one of the level 50 dungeons, and it was Ampador. I think it was Ampador, where he had a full crew, like, because technically the Beastmaster is also its own like DPS job in addition to all the monsters. So I think the idea is that you can also have like different levels. Like you can have like one big guy or like 3 small guys or like a medium guy and a small guy. Like it seemed like there's a way you can mix and match how you're doing stuff. And it really does feel like you can, sort of summon your own little light party to go tackle things with you. And that just seems like a really neat way of doing solo play. And I'm sure that you can probably group up with other people, maybe have like 2 Beastmasters with the beast each or something. But I do think it does sound like a really neat way to do solo play in an expansion that has been so focused on making sure there's lots of multiplayer play. So I'm excited. There's also the Crucible of the Unbroken, which is a dedicated single player experience that is, quote, unlike any previous content in Final Fantasy XIV so far, even though it kind of looks like it's sort of the Beastmaster version of the Masked Carnival. But they showed like this cool UI thing where they had like chess pieces and you could sort of like choose which way you want to go in the Crucible, almost like it was choosing your levels in Star Fox, right? Where, you sort of have your own little branching paths and then they would come back together and stuff. It looked really, really, really neat. I'm looking forward to it. Like Anna mentioned, Masaki, Mr. Ozma Nakagawa, he was very much involved in the development of Beastmaster, from like the job design to the content implementation. He put a lot of time into it, and they're going to really show it off again in the next live letter. That will be probably before we have a chance to talk again. But yeah, no, Beastmaster looks cool.
Like, I think it's going to be I think it'll be the Friday before FanFest. I think he said something like that.
Yeah, he said it was like the week before FanFest. And that as soon as he was done with the live letter, he was going to leave the live letter and go hop on a plane to California. So that is exciting. I'm looking forward to Beastmaster. But before we even get Beastmaster, we're getting some housing updates. Oh my goodness. We are finally getting the housing item limits increased.
Yay. Christmas will be easy to decorate again.
Like it's not quite doubled, but it's close. They're increasing, like, for example, for indoor furnishings, for smalls, instead of 200, you're going to get 300. Mediums are going up from 300 to 450. Larges are getting up to 400 to 600. And even private chambers in the FC houses and the apartments are going from 100 to 150. And outdoor stuff, they are straight just doubling it all. So like smalls can have 20 to go up from 20 to 40. Mediums going up from 30 to 60. Large from up to 40 to 80. Yes. And also your storerooms, your storage spaces are also getting increased by the same amounts. It is so good. It is so good. Oh my God. Like this is, thank you, Square Enix. This is what everyone's been waiting for. Even though Yoshida did say, he's like, I know in a couple of months, they're going to ask for it all over again. I know it.
I will say there is one thing I would like just personally, and that's to get rid of the limits on the mannequins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because depending on the size of the house, you can only have so many mannequins. And especially around, like, I use mannequins to decorate for Halloween. I use some for Christmas, but not as many. Halloween's the big one I use them for. But I use them in my my FC house. FC room, because I have my bard music little lounge, and I've got mannequins at the instruments in the various bard artifact gear. And then I started doing that in my own house for Dancer. But yeah, so I would love to be able to keep doing that with the artifact gears as we go.
Something they also mentioned is that you're going to be able to adjust how many people versus items you see in the house. So if you want to prioritize people, seeing them in the house, you can make sure you see as many people as possible and lesser amounts of items show up. Or you can prioritize the items and have less people show up, because I think that's how they're getting away with being able to put more items in houses, which could create some really interesting ways people build houses, because now they got to go, well, are they going to actually be able to see everything I'm putting in? So that will be interesting.
This is the reason why I'm glad that WoW still exists, and I'm glad that WoW copies things from 14, because that in turn puts pressure on the 14 team to make improvements, because there's been a lot of discussion about how WoW housing came out and it was better than 14's. So we're like, okay, well, we got to figure out how we're going to improve it. So there you go.
That's true. That did happen. Like WoW is finally, after so many years / decades, they finally put in housing. They clearly were inspired on how 14 did it and how to sort of avoid the issues that 14 has, especially with how limited it is that people can buy houses. It's not as bad as it used to be during the Shadowbringers Endwalker heyday, where everyone was playing like all the time. Like nowadays, if you want a small, even sometimes mediums, like people do leave, and so auto demolition is a thing, and so you can buy houses. But in WoW, it is one of those things where you never lose your house. It's like apartments or free company, rooms where you keep them forever. But I get it, because back in the day, 14 was not nearly as popular as it is now. I still feel that, well, I'm sure they still want more people to play 14. I have a feeling that the current number of people playing is probably actually better than the Tev's team's original like dreams. Like, I think it has been way more successful than they actually thought it would be. And I think how housing was implemented is very much an example of that. They thought they would have so many people, and they know they would have give and take, and they thought that what this would be enough to cover what they thought the player base would be. And the player base was just so much more than that. But again, they're working on it, and they've even said, as far as UI and things, that they're also looking into updating that stuff as well, including knowing that people do basic glitching to get things to float, and they want to make that easier for people. And it's maybe a toggle or something where they're just going to let people just float stuff just through like, a menu toggle. And I know someone is very excited about that possibility.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Christmas is going to be so much easier to decorate. It's going to be glorious.
Now, that isn't happening in this patch. That's something they're working on, much like the...
I said Christmas.
Well, I have a feeling that might be more of a next expansion situation, which, I mean, could be Christmas. We don't know.
Again, I said Christmas.
We also know that they're still working on making sure everything works well for the TARDISing of insides, where you'll be able to probably spend extra gil, turn your small inside into like a medium or large inside, and so on and so forth. So like you can upgrade what the inside of your house looks like versus what the outside is. But they want to make sure everything is properly running, and they're already, blowing out housing item limits. They want to make sure this actually works. This doesn't like crash the game or people's houses or anything before they let everyone have larges, probably with a considerable gil sink, but we need those in this game. But what is coming, which I was not expecting at all, and I'm happy to see it, pour one out for people selling dies on the market boards, because we're getting the consolidation of dies. That's wild.
Yeah, that was not something I had on my bingo card. Oddly enough, like every expansion, I do go through and sell a lot of die, mostly because I need the space. And I'm actually at a point where the only dies I keep are the general purpose ones, which I think those aren't going to be counted in this new system.
For one, my saddlebag, I have my initial set of saddlebags are literally all dies. 2 full inventory boxes, just then the dies. And I'm going to be able to knock that down to like half. I am very excited. So how it works is they're grouping them into 3 main groups. They had names, but Yoshi P did not like the names. And so they haven't figured out the names yet. But they're doing all the Realm Reborn dies as one group. So Group A. They're doing Group B are the 9 dies that were in Ishgardian Restoration, which was, from Shadowbringers. And then they also introduced 11 new dies with Cosmic Exploration from Dawn Trail, and that'll be Group C. Granted, the ones that do not qualify for these groupings are the ones that you can use or you can buy online from the online store. Like the pure black, the pure white, a lot of them, some of the metallics. Those will not be part of this because, well, people spend actual for real monies on these things, and they don't want people to suddenly go like, well, but my money went away. I spent money on that, so that makes sense. But what's going to happen is I believe once the patch hits, all dies except for the general those online ones will be useless. Can't use them. So you got to go to a Calamity Salvager in the city states and go, hey, convert these for me. And they go, sure thing, buddy. And then suddenly you'll watch all your dies go into 3 different dies. And then when you choose your die, when you're dying stuff, it will just take up one of those group dies for any of those colors. It is, oh my God. Like I use so many different blues and browns and grays and sometimes reds and yellows. And it's all now just, there'll be one. The only way this would have been even better is if they turned it into like a token currency where it doesn't even show up in my inventory anymore. But that would not work with the spend real money dies. So they also mentioned you'll be able to throw in dungeon gear into the armoire.
Yes, I'm so excited.
But for some reason, that wasn't really covered in the. I got all our notes from Nova Crystallis. Thank you, Nova Crystallis. But they mentioned that armoire is getting updated. They didn't say what the update was, but they said they'll throw dungeon gear into the armoire, and also all the artifact gear we're going to throw into the armoire.
Nice.
So that's also very exciting because that's a lot of glamour dresser stuff that I still can't consolidate because they're not sets yet because they're only crafted and not combat sets can be outfit sets. None of the combat can be setted. So that's exciting for again freeing up space in there. I'm really glad that the armoire they're figuring out ways to make use of that in addition to the glamour dresser still. Like that's great.
Yeah, it's always felt kind of weird because the artifact sets, they're all tied to maybe not cheapens necessarily, but you can re-get those from the Salvager, right? The Calamity Salvager. If you want to re-get those pieces. So like the game knows you have it. And just like the armoire, like there's a little flag in the game that tells you have stuff like that, stuff like the seasonal, equipment. So like there was really no reason they couldn't have implemented this before. So I'm glad they've finally done that because I mean, that's going to save a lot of space out of my glamour dresser. Hell, you don't even need to give me more glamour dresser space because you're going to be creating such a vacuum at this point, from that. And the dungeon sets, I've got a ton of that from the dungeon sets. Yeah, it's like free space.
And if I'm not mistaken, the Realm Reborn artifact gear already could have gone into the armoire because I have some sets of something in there. So it's like I was always surprised that they didn't do this before. So I'm glad. But the dungeon gear, especially because I don't think I have every set, but and I know they're starting with Dawn Trail, but I have like almost every set of the Catesis gear. I even have like all of like the Vanguard sets. Like I really liked all those. And so and there's some dungeon sets I got rid of because I didn't have room to keep it all. So that's going to be fun because the Katana Ravel, that is a gear set that I threw away because I couldn't really keep all of it. But that's one I would like to go back and get once they put that in.
The one thing that the armoire can't do that the glamour dresser can do is that you can put in an item in pre-dyed into the glamour dresser and it keeps the dye color there in place. Armoires, everything, you have to re-dye. But then again, now that they have greatly increased how dye is handled, maybe that won't be such a big issue. Unless you really like the money dye. Can't help you there. But yeah, then I guess he mentioned that, Yoshida mentioned that they hadn't really changed the die system since A Realm Reborn, and it was a system among many in Final Fantasy XIV that are in need of reevaluation. And apparently he'll share more news of these systems being reevaluated and plans for things like this at FanFest. So when we're back, we're going to be talking about FanFest in Anaheim. We'll be right back with Carbuncle Chronicle. We're back. Not so fast. Me, Basil here, and first, some updates. Okay, first off, thank you for everyone who showed up to the MTAC panel. If you're listening, glad you made it. If you didn't go, man, it was a fun time. You should have gone. One of the things that I talked about during the panel was I showed off my wife Anna's wonderful corn servant that she crocheted for the physical items category of the art contest for FanFest. And we didn't know at the time whether or not it made it in. Spoilers, it did. It's there. You can go vote for it right now. And you should go vote for it right now. Please, please. Anna, she is way more humble about this. She is like, I'm just really glad it's there. I was so scared. Me? No, I'm the wife guy here. I'm going to tell you, please vote for my wife's corn servant. Thank you. Also, we know other things, like other physical items. Like we do know, in fact, what the Goody Bag has. It has a cool little messenger bag and a hat, and they both feature this really cool, chibi faces of all the scions, and that's really impressive. We've gotten stuff with Final Fantasy XIV on it, but never an actual unique pattern to the fabric. That's a level of production I've not seen before for a FanFest bag, and that's really, really cool. We're also getting some cool pins, which is like a Loporrit, a male Moogle, Alpha, and a corn servant. I love that corn servant. And a sticker book, which I think we'll be able to use actually during the event while we're at FanFest to do things. So that's also exciting. I'm really glad they're bringing back more of a physical thing to do. That is very cool. Also, we do know there is still going to be an app because they announced that you can buy merch and the app can be used to reserve your times on Friday and Saturday to be able to go buy said merch. Also, we do now know what the schedule is and what we're getting. So, for example, we are getting a development panel. It is going to be on the first day after the Roulette game show, and it features battle system designer Hikaru Tamaki, and all the interviews I have found for him online all pertain to PvP, so I have to assume that this guy works on PvP, so if you like the player versus player dynamic, you might be very excited for this development panel. We also now know that what we're getting in lieu of a live letter, since we're getting that before, we're actually getting it later on this week as I'm recording this, we're getting a random Q&A with Yoshida where people will be able to submit questions and he's going to be answering them. And apparently it's going to be, they're going to use some form of luck to determine how difficult the questions they're going to give him to answer. We're also getting From Tacos to Tenders, serving up the lyrics of Final Fantasy XIV with Michael Christopher Koji Fox. So that's also exciting. Of course, there's Primals and Keiko, and it's going to be a good time. Anyways, so I think those are the updates I have for you now. Back to the show. here at the Carbuncle Chronicle, we are very incredibly, oh my gosh, fortunate that somehow we all won the lottery to be able to spend money and brave the TSA lines to get to California for FanFest. Yay!
Woo! I mean, we are very fortunate that going to FanFest will not be a problem for us, for at least Basil and I, because our airport is quite small and pretty quick. So I'm grateful for that. Coming back, however, I'm a little scared, but Basil has been keeping an eye on things, and it looks like they aren't that bad. So we'll see.
Look, at least we know in Tural, we have a head of reason and a head of resolve that kind of know what they're doing.
Or a rabbit of reason and a chicken of resolve. If you have not, this will be out after the Easter event. So you two, go find all the people from the Easter event, because you have, it's off to the side. It's not even really close to the amphitheater, but you have a rabbit of reason and a chicken of resolve, and it's seen in Wookelmont in outfits.
Nice.
It's very
like
good.
It's so funny. Anyway, sorry, I found that last night. It was very exciting.
No, we're very, very excited to be able to go to FanFest. This is Tobias's second, and ours are
fourth.
Yeah.
Fourth. God.
Fourth in person.
We've been very lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be great, because the first one that I went to, the only one I've been to, is in Las Vegas, which is certainly an experience. But I'm very glad it's not going to be in July in Las Vegas, or even July in Anaheim. As oh boy, that would suck. So hopefully it'll be a little more moderate, a little more temperate there. Whatever that means for California in April. But we're not going to die stepping outside this time. It felt like we died a couple times last time. Yeah, it was rough.
I mean, the very first day we were there, I got a heat stroke, so it's
so it'll be great. I'm really hoping that the new space can accommodate everybody. I know there were a lot of logistical issues, which we talked about on that episode. 2 years ago. I'm hoping that kind of resolves itself because of the new convention center, because of the new convention center staff. I know part of the issues they had last time was due to the convention center staff, I feel like. So we'll have to see if that plays out a little better. But yeah, exciting, because the US FanFest is the first of the set. So we know literally nothing going in for anything. It's a big
Zilch.
X factor. Like, it could be anything. Literally, we'd have no clue where we're walking into. And that's what makes this so exciting, is knowing nothing.
Yep.
I know that I'm excited for this FanFest, especially since, they definitely had logistical issues at the previous FanFest. But, for example, they had different logistical issues at the 2016 FanFest, and they were all fixed for the 2018 FanFest. 2018 FanFest was like smooth like butter.
Smooth. Yeah, it was smooth.
It was great. So I'm really hoping that, much like how they learned lessons from 2016 to make a really good 2018, that this will also lead us to having a really good 2026, at least as far as FanFest go. That's my hope. It's happening April 24th to 25th in the Anaheim Convention Center in Anaheim, California. We're getting a new expansion. We know that there's a new expansion. That's what they make these things. We're paying money to be advertised to, but that's okay. We're all sickos and simps for Final Fantasy 14. It's fine. We did it gladly. So, what do we think this next expansion is going to be called?
It's going to have winter in the title. That's my claim.
It's going to have heaven. It's Heaven's Word Part 2. I stole that from someone in my Ultimate Discord. It's funny because she mentioned that, and then we found out the patch title, and it's got Trail to the Heavens. It's like, wait. So I don't know. I'm curious. Are they going to keep going with the day theme, like the cycle of the day? So I don't know.
It could be Noonberry. Instead of dawn, it's noon, or maybe brunch coffer. I don't know. Let's it could.
Oh my god!
Brunch bringers, lunch bringers, Uber Eats,
lunch bringers. Oh my god! I'm surprised, or not surprised, but I know I told Basil around this time is usually when people start stalking the copyright sites because I believe Stormblood we figured out I think Stormblood was figured out by the time we got there. Shadowbringers wasn't. We were a little thrown off. I think it was either Shadowbringers or Endwalker. Like they thought they knew, like people thought they knew it was going to be something else, and it wasn't.
I think it was Endwalker because that was around the same time that it was announced that they also had trademarked Forspoken. And Forspoken,
yes, okay, that was the one I'm thinking
is a perfect name for a Final Fantasy XIV expansion.
It really is.
It really was. And so that really threw everyone for a loop when it turned out to be Endwalker. But I don't know. It could also be Winter. It could be, I don't know. Yeah, Tobias mentioned that for like.
It could be something to do with Winter.
It could be Winter dice. I'm looking at some dice.
If you go to the, what do you call it? The journal in the end room, the unending journey, the last patch, 7.4, that is under new entry that I can't remember now. It has like the winter under it. Or maybe this was, I feel bad for maybe looking at a leak. Maybe it was part of the leak, but basically there's a new section in the unending journey that's related to winter. So I'm really thinking between that, the winterers, Helmarut, we're in spoiler territory, right? Like pseudo spoiler territory, territory. Helmarut kind of mentions like a season changing. So like if not winter, then maybe autumn. Like we already had the autumn tide lyrics in the Endwalker Footfalls, so that's making me kind of think of that just listening to it offhand. So like I think it's going to be winter themed. Like I'm pretty sure maybe we're skipping on of it. I'm pretty sure we're going to Elsabard. I'm pretty sure Corvos is going to be the first of our next cities. Emmett Selk already mentioned his laundry list, about the Blind Frost. So like, I think it's going to be a very cold, like you mentioned, Anna, Heavensward 2.0. I think we're going to get a lot of snowy zones in this one. So I'm thinking it's going to be winter themed.
So I have a habit of taking screenshots of the final prose at the end of each patch. So I went through my screenshots and it's weather blows fates, wandering will, 4 gray clouds presage winter's chill.
Yeah.
No, I think it's going to be something with winter. I think we are correct at this.
But that next question is like, where are we going? Are we going to go to the Blind Frost? Is it another shard? Like what could it possibly?
Yes. If we don't go to another shard, I mean, unless we find out something in 7.5 about the key to where we can't use it to go to another shard, I will be surprised because I feel like we need to do some stuff close to home, but I think we're going to be going to other places. We're either going to go to the Void and see Zero. Maybe that has to do with Inuo. I don't know if we'll go back to the first and call Gaia. I don't know. I don't know where, but I'm like, we need to go to another shard.
I think the 13th is the most likely candidate. Of course, I say that knowing that they're going to throw us a curveball, so we're probably not going to 13th now that I've said it. But that at least seems to be the safest choice.
So my theory, I know that y'all have heard my theory a few times now, but so in the last patch, again, we were talking to Helmarut and she was mentioning a withering and things that we had done has created this situation. And it really sounded like either something with the death of Hydaelyn or Zodiark or both caused a problem that we have not foreseen. And so I really do wonder because, there was the whole Meteon thing, right? And then they created things were going bad on Aetheris. And so that's when they created Zodiark. And then Zodiark was doing bad stuff. And so other ancients created Hydaelyn. And then Hydaelyn's solution was to kick Zodiark so hard that she broke the planet into multiple dimensions, functionally with the source and the shards. And those two were keeping everything copacetic, keeping everything working like it should, right?
Oh yeah, and that was the point of the whole Hydaelyn story, is that she was draining her energy just to keep things together. So I completely see where you're coming from. Like Hydaelyn was like a load-bearing primal, basically. Yeah. And she's gone. They're gone, even though there was a conflict there. They're gone. So,
and again, the existence of Zodiark was to keep Aether working right. But that was the whole thing, was that, we had, Zodiac was keeping Aether moving, whereas Hydaelyn, because light aspected, was keeping everything in stasis. Like, they were both doing the things to keep the world working like it should. Like, they remembered how the world worked. And now they don't exist. And so my wonder is that not only was that a thing, the problem they were solving, we did solve by taking out Blue Twitter Girl, right? Like, we beat up Medion. She's okay now. She's her own little bluebird flying around as a minion I'll never get. And so that's fine. But what they did when they did the Hydaelyn kick and everything, that all happened, they're not there keeping that metaphysical infrastructure going. And so I'm wondering if that's the problem, is that they're not there to keep everything running correctly, because we're not just a planet, right? We're a source and 14 shards. And some of the shards have been brought back into the source, but not all of them. Some of the shards were full of people still living their lives, and they might be going through problems. And I wonder if what we're going to do, because we have this key, right? We have this key that we know about that has the ASM symbol on it for some reason. And I think that was also part of like the patch, imagery. So I think we're going to learn what the key actually does and why we have it. But my current theory is that, much like how there was a spot in Lower Tural that was close enough to the 9th where they could create that portal, right? There are other places throughout Aphorism where they're metaphysically, closer to different shards. And we've got to take the key and sort of forge new infrastructure, so we could go to all sorts of places, but also all sorts of shards, because we've got to create new connections to keep everything upright.
Well, and I was telling a friend of ours, expanding on Basil's theory, I believe endgame is we're going to finish what the Ascians started. Like, we're going to finish the rejoinings, but we are going to find a way to do it without killing anyone. So that is I don't know how we're going to get there, but I feel like that is the next Endwalker ending, is that we as Asm will finish what the Ascians started.
That is what Luffy would do.
So you mentioned Luffy, but I'm thinking, we have a key. We're going to be traveling around these different dimensions, these other worlds with a whole new, cartoonish cast of characters, and sealing the keyholes, sealing the darkness in their hearts. We're doing.
Shut up! We're not doing Kingdom Hearts. Go away. Nope. Nope.
We got
that with the new variant dungeon.
Copied.
That's it.
The Ascians are already a better Relation 13. Now FF14 is going to be a better Kingdom Hearts. Is what I always wanted.
And our friend Austin still won't play it.
Aww.
Oh man.
So yeah, that's our thoughts on the what the expansion might be. But with the expansion, we're going to get a new jobs, because technically Yoshida only confirmed job. There was no plural on that.
I feel like it's gonna be one.
So it's potentially it could just be one job. It might be two, but it could be one.
Let's see what he says at the keynote, because I don't know, saying stuff in a live letter about a different patch. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying I would rather it be official in a keynote before we singular or plural. I'd be fine either way. We've talked about this. Like, it already takes so much work for them to balance a new job, and we already have so many in the game as it is. I'd be fine, assuming, of course, the one job is Mystic Knight, which it will be. I'd be perfectly fine with that.
It's gonna be a Fizz ranged.
No,
it's gonna be a Fizz ranged.
No,
it's gotta be a Fizz range. We only have 3. We are the lowest. Fizz range is the lowest numbered group. There are more casters, there are more healers, there are more tanks, and there are more melee. We need a Fizz range.
There's 3 tanks.
There's 4.
4 tanks. You're right. There are 4.
There's 4 tanks.
Okay. All right. You got this one, even though you got the answer last.
That was 3 expansions ago.
That was okay. That was the answer, but also that was the one with Gunbreaker. So okay. You win this round.
Yep.
What would it be though?
Now, will I change to? I don't know. Like, I like Mr. Happy's. The only way I would change is if it was this. I don't know. It was like something with crossbows. I don't know what that would be.
It could be Gunner. Just take Gunner from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Be able to shoot anything. Oh, well, Machinist is a Gunner. Never mind. I guess we can't do that.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, I like the crossbow idea.
It could be interesting.
Now, I would point out that you could have a Gunner class where there are 2 pistols, and it's Yuna from Final Fantasy X-2 as the inspiration point.
That's fair.
Again, a reason that I would play it, probably.
A Corsair would be cool. 2 pistols. I could see that being a Corsair sort of deal. Maybe 1 pistol. That'd be a reason for them to bring back a legacy.
That'd be really funny if it's the expansion after Dawn Trail and we got Corsair.
If we finally got
that
Corsair.
would be really funny. I kind of want that to be true now, just because that would be so. I feel that'd be so stunting on us. So like, yeah, we know what you wanted. You got Viper first, but now we'll give you a Corsair. How about that?
Definitely. But if we do get 2 jobs, then yeah, I definitely want Tank to be the other one, and I think Mystic Knight would be a really good. Because I said this last time. Last time I was saying Evoker and make it like Clive, using Summoner, but you're using personal abilities. But like Mystic Knight could do that sort of thing where it's like a magic tank, more magic-y tank sort of deal. So I think Mystic Knight would work really well if they decide to do that. So,
I'll admit I leveled Mystic Knight and still don't know what it does. So,
well, and it's really interesting because, and I kind of wonder if we're only going to get 1 job. And the only reason I wonder is because I know that they feel they're in a really good spot with how they feel they're handling healers and tanks right now, where there's 4 each. There are, you've got your shield healers and your pure healers. You've got your more main tank and your more off tank. They can technically do either way, but they've got 2 that they sort of feel are more main tank material, which I think is Paladin, and it's either Paladin and Dark Knight or Paladin and Warrior.
Paladin Warrior.
And then it's the other one and Gunbreaker are the off tank
I believe
idea.
Yeah.
I just see that Warrior and Paladin are the 2 I see main tank the most. Now, if you have a Gunbreaker and a Dark Knight together, then the Gunbreaker tends to.
But if memory serves, I think it's the idea is that, and I remember Gunbreaker was when people mentioning it, that field was better suited to be the off tank. But so it would be interesting if they were to put in a new tank. It would make sense because usually they don't do 2 DPS or 2 jobs. It's usually a DPS and then something else. And tank would make sense because our last one we got was Sage.
But you said no double DPS. They've done that twice.
Yeah, I've done that twice.
Last time they did Picto and Viper, and then before they did Red Mage and Samurai and Stormblood.
I was about to say.
But every other one has been a mix-up of a DPS and a support role.
Oh, that's good. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
That's right. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Is that we've just had 2 DPS. Now it'd be a DPS and a support, or a DPS and a tank. Like one of those. Yeah. So.
Well, it supports tank. Yeah.
That's right. Thank you. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right. I really appreciate that. So it'll be really, really.
Yeah, it's like it could be anything. I'm excited for whatever they have. We can theorize, but I'm excited for whatever it be. I think it's going to be cool. Last time we went and it was like, I guess they showed. We didn't know about Picto till later. That's right. They showed Picto in the European FanFest thing, and Picto is exciting to see.
Did we know? I think we did know. No, we didn't know Viper. We didn't know Viper. I think we knew it was a melee, but they kept hiding his weapon in the trailer.
Well, they show it in the trailer because don't they?
They only showed 1 sword because they didn't show the Viper section until Europe.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
And then the Japan's when we got Picto.
And even in the CG trailer, like they didn't have everything in it. Even from like scene that we did see, like they obscured like one of like the daggers or something. Like it was.
That's right.
Yeah, we only saw 1 sword.
And we were all so sure it was going to be like a Corsair type deal, based off the T-shirt he wore. Was it during the live letter that he wore the T-shirt? Like, because there was a T-shirt.
The one he wore at FanFest was the Ninja Turtles, which was a reference to Picto later.
Yeah,
not that one.
Yes. Yeah. which I was proud of myself for that one because I called Michelangelo. I was like, it's painter.
So yeah, that's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to going there. I'm looking forward to eating the food there because I'm hoping that there'll be better food options. And there wasn't. It was wild that we were at this one spot in Vegas that didn't have restaurants around.
I know. We found out the last day to go back to the first hotel we ever went to for FanFest to get food,
which was really nice. Actually, that was a really fun date. That was really
that was a fun date.
Oh, and there's that cafe that's like a 10-minute drive. That's doing
Requiem.
their own. Yeah, Requiem. They're doing their.
Oh yeah, the Requiem. They did a miraculous cafe. So I'm hoping they are prepared. I know we were joking that they aren't going to be prepared, but I know they are used to doing these types of. I don't know if they're used to doing them when a big event like this is in town, but I know they're used to doing those types of cafes, and I would like to go if we can.
But that we'll have to see because it's going to be so busy.
I mean, there's a reason we're going back in 2 weeks after, not necessarily to Anaheim, but yeah.
So there are going to be panels. There's the keynote, which we've been talking about, right? Where we're going to get. That's probably where they unveil the ultimate. We're going to get the new expansion. We'll see what the new big gold saucer update is, maybe. Because remember, last FanFest, that's what we found about Fall Guys.
That was that moment was so weird because there was no one in that room went. Oh, okay. We all went. We expected 16 because the 16 event hadn't even been talked about. That's what we expected the crossover to be, and then we get Fall Guys, and it was like, wait a minute.
That's the gold saucer thing. Fall Guys, epic. And then that was also when freaking newly retired or about to be retired.
Oh,
Phil Spencer showed up because they announced it for Xbox.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that, and he was high.
I'm sad that Doug Bowser has now retired from Nintendo, so we can't get Bowser on stage for the Switch 2 version to be announced.
Reggie's going to show up. Reggie's going to come out of retirement
just for this. Just
announce the Switch 2.
that would make my heart happy.
I mean, speaking of people we hope will come on stage during FanFest, I want Tom Morello and what's his name to be there.
Yeah,
for
that would be
Primal's
great.
concert. Now, I did tell Basil I would be perfectly happy hearing Gunn do Everything Burns, but it would be really fun if they could get.
Is it Caleb Shomo?
I think so.
I've listened to his stuff now. I'm
really bad with.
Honest to God, most of the music I listened to lately has been Primals, and the Midnight. But yeah, Beartooth. Yeah, Caleb Shomo. He's Beartooth. That was the person that Tom Morello collabed with. All right, cool. Yep. Yes, yeah, that would be cool to see them during the Primals concert. But ESP concert, the one I'm really looking forward to is the one before the Keiko. Never ever sleep on the Keiko piano concert. I know everyone's always excited for Primals, but Keiko kicks so much ass. I am very excited to see what she does. I'm really curious to see if she does any more things along with a vocalist, whether it be Amanda Aiken or Jason Charles Miller. Either one, I think it'd be really neat if
watching her and Amanda diva off last year was just incredible. I mean, because they were both just really, it was so good.
Absolutely.
It was a great concert.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. And of course, there's going to be some sort of theoretical battle trial. It has not always been a trial, but usually is a trial. There was one time it was more of an alliance thing that they stuck Proto Ultima into Dunscape, but everything else has been a trial of some sort, whether it was Odin or the two Hildebrand trials. Yeah, Shura or Yojimbo. So there will be some sort of battle challenge there. I'm really curious to see what that trial is going to be. I have no clue what it could be.
We've already assigned jobs for our party of 8. So yeah, because we luckily have 6 FC members going, and then 2 FC adjacent friends. So I need to talk to one of them because I don't think I've told her. But yeah, I've gone through. I was like, okay, we have 2 healers, we have 2 tanks, we have all the DPS. I think we can handle, because luckily people have their main job, but then we have people that can do anything. So it was fun getting to figure that out. But yeah, that has always been such a fun experience. I'm still salty they don't give us t-shirts for it. I don't want to go to a PAX, but dadgummit, I want a t-shirt. But we've had some pretty fun moments with that. So if you're going to FanFest, yeah, the hat too. If you're going to FanFest, save your hotbar, like save your settings just in case. Also take pictures on your phone of your hotbar. Do not forget this because you will have a few minutes to set up when you get there and you can't remember your hotbar that way because then you also remember to put limit break on your bar. Anybody put limit break on your bar because you never know.
So do suggest that for those going to FanFest or listening to us, if you play multiple jobs, take multiple screenshots of your hotbars. And like Anna said, load them up onto your phone. Make sure it's a native JPEG on your phone. Do not count on the internet working. There are so many people who are all be crammed in the same space, even if they have plenty of space, which they've never had plenty of space. But if by Heidelin's will, we have plenty of space, there's still everyone on their phones at the same time. As much stuff as you can have locally on your phone, the better. I do think it's interesting that we have yet to hear about an app this time. I'm wondering if the app...
We didn't hear... Did we even hear about the app last time until we got there?
I could have swore they mentioned the app beforehand.
I'm pretty sure I preloaded it at least a week before.
Either that, well, maybe, yeah. But I remember they didn't mention... Maybe they did mention the battle, because I remember last year, the battle trial, you had to sign up through the app, and then you had to get the email confirming and pick a time and whatnot. And the internet was terrible. Trying to get in and do that was the worst thing in the world. It was
the same system, the little running man at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it even had the running man. And we were just like, oh God. You heard the groan just go through the room. And yeah, and even then, when you signed up for a time and you got there, they were behind. But yeah, it was awful because I remember my little running man was supposed to start as the keynote started. And the keynote starts on time, first seconds the trailer. It's like the, part 2 of Patches. It starts with a trailer. And so I was like, I don't want to be looking at my phone doing this while there's a trailer going. It was rough, but we got in. We got in.
We didn't have to do the phone thing. We skipped the line as someone was like,
oh yeah, they did end up saying, never mind.
Someone was like, go now. They're just taking people. They're just trying to get people through. Not because it was during PvP. And so not a lot of people were watching PvP, which was great.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying don't watch PvP, but we just happened to catch it where we left PvP. And so we were
getting food, I think. Yeah.
Did the battle challenge. It was fun. And we came back and we watched more PvP. It really worked out, but who knows how it'll be set up, because I also remember, in 2016, it was really hard to get to the battle challenge. But in 2018, it was they were just moving people on through. We had happened to have a full set. So they're like, wait, you're already set? Come on in.
And I know they didn't do it last year, but I hope they bring back the, just the different challenges. Because, when I think it was 2018, we had the Eureka Challenge where you had to try to run through, not Hydados, the ice one, whichever the ice one was, because you had to sneak past the dragon. And because you had to get from the starting Aetheryte up past the dragon to the other Aetheryte. And it was whoever got there first, whoever made it, you got a sticker. But I enjoyed that. But then I've always enjoyed, they have a random trial, and or not a random trial, but they have a battle challenge where you spin a wheel and it goes on a random trial. Cause I think we had Lakshmi, and then you have another wheel that tells you, you get a handicap. We had to stand up at certain points and do the wave for Lakshmi. Some people had to change chairs, so then they were on a completely different job, completely different setup. Some people had to have half their screen covered. It was hilarious to watch, and it was a lot of fun to do. So I would love for them to bring that back in some form, because we even tried doing that during FC nights at one point because we had so much fun.
But last FanFest they had that really neat idea where they had the quest givers, and you had to be able to do other things, the gleaners, and they were giving out quests.
Oh yeah, the gleaners
that you could physically run around and do while everything else was going on, including all the various physical attractions that I thought were so cool until they made better ones for each of the other FanFests. And I'm like, oh, well, all right. But who knows? They've leveled up their game like that every time they've done a FanFest. So who knows what cool things they'll do. I'm really curious to see what Turali things will be there for us to like walk around in. Because remember last time we got to go to our old Charlian and Razat Han and fight, Pandemonium and throw beanbags at it. And it was
no, that was Carbuncle. You got to throw beanbags at Carbuncle. If it was Pandemonium, I would have stabbed it.
Well, it was in Pandemonium. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was in Pandemonium, but yeah, you had to throw beanbags at Carbuncle.
Does this mean we're going to get a stand, like a taco stand, and they're going to give us actual real tacos?
I hope. Now, I was just thinking they really need to have a taco stand here.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's California. You can find some pretty damn good tacos around.
Oh man, we got to go get some tacos at some point. Oh my god, that is like our friend of the show, Cass, like former FC member, where she's off. She's from California. She's back in California now, and when she was here in town, like she would just rave about how awesome the Mexican food was. And how great the tacos were in California. So now that we're going, I gotta get tacos. Like Cass, that's your fault. That is your fault specifically. If you're listening for some reason, I'm getting tacos, and it's your fault specifically.
She will proudly accept that.
But yeah, it's man, I'm excited to see all again. Just like it's same thing with Gateway Fate. Can't wait to be like at a hotel and a convention center's full of just 14 fans. It's the best. It is the absolute seven hells, thalls, balls best.
We haven't heard anything about our gift bags yet. Like that is one thing I'm looking forward to hearing about hopefully soon. I know just a couple of days ago, the Glamour to Life emails went out. So people know about if they will be in the costume contest. April 13th is when the art contest finals go out, and we're going to keep our fingers, toes, and eyes crossed that Corn Servant makes it through. But yeah, no, so that's one thing. But prior, by the time this comes out, prior to FanFest, make sure you vote. I think you have you have up until the day before FanFest to vote. I think it's 10 days, and so you can vote for those. You get to vote for, I believe, video submissions and screenshots. So those are always fun to go through and see what people do. Like the art alone, Basil can, we go through the art finalist every year and pick new wallpapers for our computers because there are some damn good artists out there.
And usually they're all wallpaper sized. Like they're pretty perfect. I mean, by and large, it is great. And I just set my stuff to random, and I've got cool wallpapers. I could probably be fine for the rest of my life with cool wallpapers, but I'm going to get more, and I'm excited. Oh, but FanFest is going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to see where we go next, what we're doing, what that trailer is going to be. Hell, that's going to be the first few licks, the beginnings of a new Soken opening. like that's. I still remember believing hearing the Dawn Trail theme, like, oh man, this sounds so good. Damn. And just listening to that on repeat, trying to ignore them, the voice actors who are doing a great job talking and acting their characters. But just listening to that music, another chance to, we'll get the chance. Well, we'll see. Maybe we'll hear, maybe or maybe not, we'll hear Jonathan Bailey talk in the patch trailer.
He's still here.
Like, we'll see. Maybe he got over his cold.
I don't know.
Or he's come back, or whatever happened last time will not be an issue this time. I don't know. But if not, then maybe the trailer. Like, we'll see. Like, I'm like this is the exciting, what's gonna happen parts of the expansion cycle. Like we're ready to sail forth and set on a new journey, a new adventure, and we don't know where we're going. This is peak Asm the Wandering type. So what thing out of all of this are you looking forward to the most?
Sorry. The keynote is always my favorite. Like I am always so hyped for that.
keynote is the thing, that's got all the information. So like that would be that. If we chose one specific bit of info, I think, the job I think is really interesting. Because at first I was so sure it was going to be Mystic Knight, but like now you've made me think, ooh, like, a Fizz range could be kind of interesting. If we do get a Corsair, that could be interesting to see. And, I know we've got too many jobs, but it's always fun to see how they play. So I'm really interested to see what they show us, what little morsel they give us, and what they tease at. But to go back to what Basil was saying a second ago, I think the thing I'm most looking forward to is just being with people physically, enjoying this game. The main thing that I got from the last FanFest was, I've been going to anime cons for so long, and I remember the enjoyment of going to those when I was, a kid, much younger. And that's sort of worn off over years. I enjoy anime cons differently than I used to. But FanFest brought that back for me. It's like, oh, I'm excited. I'm the newbie here. I'm the kid here, surrounded by these people that are been playing the game forever. I was just excited. And like, I'm kind of excited to get back to that mentality where everyone around you, like a gateway fate, just likes playing this game and enjoys this game. And as much as we rag on the community, the internet, aspects of the community, being there physically with people is a whole nother experience. So I think feeling rejuvenated in my fandom for this game is the thing that I'm really most looking forward to, the excitement of everything happening.
I want to bounce off that, but just real quick before Basil goes. One thing I also am looking forward to is last year we got to experience Tobias experiencing his first Primals concert. We have a couple of friends coming this time who have been trying to go since 2016, have never been lucky enough to get tickets. They finally did, so I'm excited to see them experience their first FanFest and their first keynote, their first Primals concert. Like, they're going to go nuts. They've been playing this game as long as we have. Like, we got them into it, and they're huge Final Fantasy fans. So I think it's going to be so much fun to watch them. They're going to be so excited.
And they're not the only ones we're going to be hanging out with that this is going to be their first fan fest. And I'm really excited for all our friends that this will be their first fan fest. Like, I'm very, like, I don't know who I want to stand by, honestly, when stuff is happening. Like, I want Anna on one side, but on the other side, I don't know who I want. Like, last time it was Tobias, and I was just really excited seeing his face light up like a Christmas tree. It helps that Tobias is very tall. And so it was kind of like looking up. I was like looking up at like the North Star.
Yeah.
But now I got multiple people to pick from, and I'm like, what do I do? Like,
we're going to be doing a lot of meetups and stuff. I know that, like I mentioned, Fruity earlier, Fruity Snacks is doing a aquarium meetup. I want to say the day before. I'm not sure if we're going to get there in time for the aquarium meetup. That's a big thing. There's a big like 11 poster influencer that's doing an 11 theme meetup. Our pal Victor Hunter of the Axe the Blood God podcast is going to be there, and it'll be exciting because he's one of the reasons that we got in this game as much as we have. At least I have. I think you guys are playing for a bit, but he's been certainly a voice of enthusiasm for this game for the past few years for me. It'd be cool to see Victor, there as well, and just like you said, it seems like there's like half the FCs going. There's people that I've kind of seen online. Maybe I've met a few, at Hama before, but very, very rarely. It'll be cool just to see so many people there.
I remember, because I know we keep saying last year, but it was a couple years ago at this point. And I remember one of the things I was really pushing on Tobias while we were at FanFest was like, no, dude, you've got to check out this podcast. You got to check out this Discord. Like, no, I want to go hang out with Nadia. I want to go say hi. I've been following her career for like literally years, almost like more than a decade by itself. Like, I've been following Nadia longer than I've been playing 14. And we've been friends, online for things too. We used to be in the same message boards, and we're friends each other. We have, we're friends each other like on Switch and stuff. Like, I wanted to go say hi. That was great. But I'm like, nah, man, you got to join this community. Like, Axe the Blood God's a very good community. I'm very surprised at how good it actually was. And so, back then you had not joined that Discord. We were not beginning our our journey through all the extremes.
I was pushing through Windwalker, and I had not got to the final patches because I still hadn't done the Mists of the Realm stuff yet. So I'm still seeing brand new stuff and trying to catch up before I continued. It was exciting.
So it was. So you mentioned Victor, and I am very excited to see Victor. Like he is. I'm so happy for him getting I still lament the loss of Charlie and Dropouts. I mean, they could bring it back, but I know he's doing so much work doing Axe of the Blood God, their main show stuff, that it was, I'm very excited to see him. It was also really nice getting their own little mini episode where they talked about Live Letter last time in one of their previous episodes. But anyways, that's their podcast. Our podcast is the Carbuncle Chronicle. Your podcast for everything we're working. I didn't say what I was excited for.
I mean, yeah, I think you did. You're excited to see Victor and the Blood God people.
I was going to say Beastmaster. I was going to swerve and go and talk about patch stuff.
True.
Oh, there you go. Oh.
Well, because there's going to be a Beastmaster panel at FanFest. That's what we're getting in lieu of a live
that's
letter.
actually the second half of the next live letter. Like, I think Mr. Happy was talking out of the butt in that, someone mentioned it and he, I think, misspoke. Like, I think he was thinking of it. No, we don't know what the other panel is. Like, Yoshida's going to have, because previously we'd always get a live letter, but we got the live letter right beforehand. So we don't know what will take place of live letter during FanFest.
I wouldn't say no to another Koji lore panel.
We'll get some form of lore panel there, right?
Ooh.
There was, I know we had Koji, did a couple, Kate and Koji did one. I'm really curious to see what we get this time. I'm really excited to see all the cool cosplays that are going to be there, like their glamour walk. That was actually a really neat thing we got to do, which we got to finally do some of the actual events that they had, and we did it during the the cosplay stuff, and we got to watch all the TV screens, them also walking.
Oh, yeah. That's
true. Because they do a pretty good job of having screens everywhere, so even if you're doing other things, you can see what's going on the stage at the same time. So I'm sure, especially with Beastmaster, I'm sure Mr. Ozma is going to be there. I'm sure they're going to do a panel with him at some point. That'll be really good. One of the things that we really didn't talk about yet was something they mentioned, especially during the media tour for Dawn Trail, was that Dawn Trail, they felt they were really focused on changing up how battles were. They felt they kind of rested on their laurels a little bit with the battles, and they really wanted to get more loosey-goosey, get funky with it, really change things up and make the battles more interesting in Dawn Trail, which, spoilers, they did, and it's been great. But they kept saying that, we're still doing jobs, how we're doing jobs, like the jobs, how we've been handling the job systems are going to more or less extend from what we did in Endwalker. But in 8.0, we're really going to focus on jobs like we focused with the battles. So we could be looking at job restructurings for everybody. Like, I could get Summoner 4 or 5 or 6.0, I forget. Summoner's been almost, this last expansion felt pretty okay for me, simply because Summoner wasn't radically changed all over again. They've done it many times, but it could be changing all over again for me. It could be changing again we could be getting a new Dancer. We could be getting new Paladin. We could be getting new Black Mage.
We're definitely getting a new Astro. They change Astro like every expansion.
Astro, I feel, is in a good place. Like, I would I don't know what I want them to do with it. They need a dash. That's what I want. I want a dash for Astro. But other than that, a lot of people are pretty happy with it. So I'm curious to see how that goes.
So we'll see. I don't know. While we're all kind of expecting just to get 10 more levels, they could also zag on us. Like, they've talked about zagging on us. They weren't sure what they wanted to do at the time people asked them about it. I don't know if we'll get a merit system or talent trees or who knows, but we could. It's possible. Again, as Tobias mentioned at the very start of us talking about FanFest and this new expansion, everything's an X factor. Literally anything could happen.
Yeah, it's possible. Big job changes like that, anything other than the standard 10 levels, that's going to be I believe it when I see it sort of thing. I'd love for them to stop at level 100 and do something different. I think the numbers are getting too big. It's not like they're going to be able to scale the levels back like they did with eye level, eventually. So it would be good. I'm really skeptical of that actually happening. Love to see it. I think they've got enough on their plate now without trying to reconfigure everything. They did say that before, but they did say we were going to get Blue Mage updates, and we didn't get Blue Mage update. I'm just fucking, things happen, things change. The goals change. So Maybe, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We had a stat squish in Shadowbringers. Like, they've taken out belts. They have done pretty major changes. Like, I could totally see maybe instead we do get a level squish where suddenly we're all now 60 and now we got to build 100 all over again. I could actually see that. That is a possibility. It could happen.
I mean, I would like something like that. But then you got to rethink about like all the legacy levels. You got 6 expansions worth of content you've got to squish at the same time. That's a lot of work. You might as well just make a Final Fantasy 17, which they will eventually, and it will be the next MMO, and it'll be great. But at that point, yeah, you might as well make another new game. But
we'll see, man. Again, we had really big numbers in Stormblood, and they were like, these numbers are actually now too big for us. We've got to squish them down so that way we can grow them back again. And we're getting to similar numbers now that we had.
So that's what the withering is.
Yeah. It's our levels. Like we're going to wither our levels away down. Yeah. But in the end, man, just like that one Shadowbringers commercial, it's just buttons. These are also just numbers. In a spreadsheet, in some ways, they could just make numbers lower. Not RPGs are not make numbers higher. Sometimes RPGs are about making numbers lower.
It won't even be like redoing the system. They will literally just put us back to level 60 with your level 60 kit, and whatever 8.0 is going to be, you got to start over from level 60 and go up to level 70, just like your normal stuff. It's just going to be new Stormblood level content.
Hey man, if they send us back to Authored and Ilsabard and wherever, that's I'm okay with that. I'm okay with another Authored expansion. Let's go back. Let's go hang out with Ian and that and that crew and Kugane and be good times. All right. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Nope. It'll be exciting once we get a FanFest and see it. I think our next episode will be post FanFest, so we'll finally be able to just rave about how great it was and how great Mystic Knight looks and the new place.
Summer Child. We're only going to get confirmation of jobs and a T-shirt. We're not going to get what the job is. That's Europe's prerogative, not ours.
Oh, my last minute prediction is going to be Green Mage. I'm out. Green Mage.
Oh. I have no predictions, but I'm also really excited to see what the 8-man and 24-man will be.
Yeah.
They'll tell us a little bit about that at least, because they have told us those things before in the first starting, American FanFest before, because we found out about.
Yeah, I mean, this time we saw the computer and they said Arcadian.
Well, that was in the Japanese FanFest, wasn't it?
No, it was. They just showed us the graphics card. They didn't tell us anything about it. We had no clue what Arcadian was, but they showed us the tower. Yeah.
Right.
All we knew was the name.
It wasn't until Europe that we learned it was wrestling theme, and they showed us Black Cat, I think, a little later.
I think so. Dear God, I don't want them to show us a trial. Or not a trial. If they show us a trial, fine. Don't show us a dungeon boss. Saying the Eliminator was such a stupid move.
We were asking ourselves, what's the Eliminator the entire time we get to that boss? Well, oh, that's okay.
Not what I was expecting.
Huh. All right. So yeah, no, it's going to be exciting. And like I said, we're going to be there and we're going to be talking about it afterwards. It's going to be, keep checking in with the Carbuncle Chronicle. We're there to cover all these breaking news stories weeks after they've happened.
We'll also have stickers, so come find us.
Oh yeah, that's true. We will have stickers. We got to make those stickers.
Maybe. I gotta make them.
All right. So this has been yet another exciting edition of the Carbuncle Chronicle, edited by me, Basil. Hi, how you doing? Unless it ends up being edited by Anna, in which case she says, hello, how you doing? Our theme was originally done, the AwesomeCast theme that we part of the AwesomeCast family of podcasts. And our theme is an arrangement of the AwesomeCast theme that was done by DJ and Abito, but arranged by Anna. You can find all our stuff at either carbunclechronicle.com or awesomecast/Carbuncle Chronicle. It'll all lead you to the same place, or just do a search for Carbuncle Chronicle. You'll find us. Like I said, we're part of the AwesomeCast family of podcasts. You can find our Patreon for the AwesomeCast there. as well as our Awesome Cast Discord. Come in, hang out, talk with us. It's a good time. We got YouTube channels for both the Awesome Cast and the Carbuncle Chronicle, which please subscribe, ring the bell, do whatever it is that you do with YouTube things. Please leave us Apple Podcast reviews or Spotify reviews. They can now throw stars on either of them. Please give us the maximum amount of 5 or higher if they let you. We, of course, on various social media platforms at either Carbuncle Chronicle or CarbyCast. You can also find us individually on the Blue Skies. I'm at It's Basil Time. Anna's at Angel Darkfire. The middle A is silent. And Tobias is at R Tobias, I believe.
That's correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, find us, follow us, hear us yammering about whatever things we're talking about. Join the Discord, join the Patreon. Say hi to us at FanFest. We'll hopefully give you a sticker. It's going to be a good time. And until next time, until post FanFest, never, ever forget, you tank the Bone Dragon up north. Yeah, it's going to be like the only downside for them using the Armoire versus the Glamour Dresser, the Glamour Dresser